Hello, my loves, and welcome to the Feminine Legacy Podcast. This is your host, Jacqueline Hyacinth, and today I'm thrilled to bring on a beloved sister, a fellow priestess, Maya Vasallo De Florio from Italia. I'm so excited to have you on. I just want to give a little bit of feedback as to how we came to meet. Maya is a beautiful priestess serving uh, our goddess Aphrodite. And she has a center in Rome, a temple space, an education center. And we had a connection through the Goddess Conference in Glastonbury. And I reached out to Maya. That's maybe, I don't know, 8, 10 years ago. And I went to Rome to go visit her and meet with her beautiful family and see the temple. And we've been in contact ever since. And I really respect you and the work that you do and the beauty that is moving through you. And so it's such an honor to bring you on and talk to you and share and lean into the wisdom of the goddess with you. So welcome.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for being a constant presence,
Mhm.
being always connected through the years.
Thank you. So let's dive in. I want to begin by asking you what I think most of us really, where does the calling come from? So for
Mhm.
you, like when did she start to really pull you and what was the
Yeah,
beginning, you know?
I think the beginning, to be honest, and I'm sure many that will be listening to this podcast can relate to this. I think the beginning started many lives ago. And then when I was a child, I always had a strong spirituality, a strong desire to connect with something else, something bigger. I've always known life was not about all the things that were promoted all around and much more than what I was told and taught.
Hmm.
But yeah, I had these visions since I was a very young girl, a very little child. I had these dreams or moments in which I really did spontaneous shamanic journeys.
Hmm.
And I remembered this past of which I hadn't known. I was just a little girl. I started when I was 5 years old, remembering. I had these visions of me honoring the statues of the goddess, pouring water, doing the lavatio sacra, so washing the statues, adorning the statues, offering incense and flowers. So I was raised as a Christian, but I had no idea. I saw something else in my dreams, in my visions, which I had never seen before, not even in the movies.
Hmm.
Nevertheless, yes, I've always been very spiritual, very bonded to nature, very active. Since I was a little girl, I was an activist for the rights of Mother Nature. I used to clean the seashores and the woods with my own hands. And I remember my mother praising me, saying, okay, this is a good thing, but not with your bare hands,
Yes.
please. It's dangerous. Don't do it ever again. Plus, that was the theme of the little girl alone in the forest, that
Mm.
we all know.
Yeah,
We all know the
we
dangers
do.
to go and get lost in the forest.
Mm.
The dangerous wolf, which
Yeah,
is not the wolf is not dangerous
dangerous.
now.
No.
On Facebook circulates this question all over the world. If your daughter is alone in the woods, would you prefer her to meet a bear or a man? And every father answered, a bear.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is something to really, really address. Yeah, we really need to do something for that because everyone deserves more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Women deserve to live in a world where they can feel safe, and men deserve to live in a world where they are not somebody to be afraid of,
Yes.
somebody, yeah, that can give love and receive love. But yeah, I knew all these things somehow, but education, school,
Mm-hmm.
family, blah 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 blah, all the
Yeah.
stratification that made me forget who I was. Moreover, this is something I often tell to my female students, uh, also to male students, but especially female students. We have to be aware that we are raised with gaslighting
Mm-hmm.
from the very first moment
Yes.
in which we come into this world. So we don't know who we are. I wasn't prepared to follow my path because there was a continuous chit-chatting in my ears, and I had no idea. I wasn't supported in um, really understanding and envisioning who I really was.
Mm.
So it took me years and years really uh, to how to say to understand what was my real authentic life path. But
Yes.
I've always known I was a pioneer and a limits breaker. My
Yes.
parents were doctors with a very ordinary life, but I dreamt of something glorious, something shining, something spiritual, something. When I say glorious and shining, I mean in terms of my own soul's and spiritual realization.
Yes.
So I started, I knew I wanted to give something great to the world. I started studying at the university as a journalist, and I took 2 degrees in journalism. Then I studied to become an actress because there was a very shocking event in my life, a very terrible tragedy in my family. I lost my niece. She was just
Mhm.
6 years old, and that uh,
Shook you.
shocked me, yeah, to the core. It brought back to my core. It's like the tarot card of
Tower.
the tower,
Yeah.
exactly. Which in French, in the cards, is called Maison Dieu, which means the house of God. For me,
Mm.
it was the goddess.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I started understanding even more. I wanted to be at service, and I started studying in a drama academy and really studying there. I went to London every summer to study Shakespearean acting and improving my English, and knowing more about esotericism,
Yeah.
because Shakespeare was an esoterist.
Yes.
And that was intertwined with sex insights. Since I was very young, I've always had this strong sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so all of those things mixed in the cauldron
Mm.
of my soul. Um, and like a medicine, I started understanding that spirituality and sexuality were natural medicines.
Mm-hmm.
So after this shocking event, I started studying natural medicine, spirituality, sacred sexuality, ancient techniques, traveling and studying with shamans and priestesses from all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I did my researches about Aphrodite because I felt this strong calling from this goddess. I had a lot of prejudices.
Mm-hmm.
How does it sound to you?
Yeah.
The prejudice towards the beautiful, sensual woman.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I've been compared to Aphrodite then, and I was irritated by
Mm.
that because I said, I've studied all my life, I have many degrees. Why do you compare me
Yeah.
to such a dolly bimbo goddess? Then I had this strong calling, And yeah, I was swimming in the Sea of Amalfi Coast because I come from Amalfi Coast,
I love the
the land of
Amalfi.
mermaids. You've
Yes.
been there?
Yes.
So
Beautiful.
I was swimming and I felt, okay, I am in Aphrodite's body. I am into her. I am in her body. I'm penetrating her and I am being penetrated by her. This is so sensual. This is
Yeah.
much more than we've been told so far. She's the great mother. Oh my goodness. And I felt this awakening while I was swimming in the open sea.
Yeah.
Uh, and I had so many, many cladons, signals, seeing dolphins around me, lots of uh, appearances, lots of visions of her. So I started not refusing her anymore, and I
Mm.
started surrendering and did my researches. Now I've been researching on Aphrodite for 15 years. Um,
I
and yeah,
love
I am.
I love that you call it researching. I mean, it is in so many ways, but I never thought about it in that way. But it is, it's consistently like this curiosity and this moving forward with and opening and seeing what's there. It is a research because in this incarnation, it's all new again in this particular body. It's
Yeah, yeah. It's
Mhm.
something ancient but also new. It's
Yeah.
true. It was like, uh, yeah, coming back home, but also everything was so new. Sometimes I said, what am I doing?
Doing.
What am I doing here? Am I crazy? Am I becoming crazy?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so, so real at the same time. It was so
Hmm.
powerful. It shook me to the core, really. And
Yeah.
I absolutely fell in love with her. And yeah, it was a research on a spiritual level, energetical level, delving deeper and deeper into my own memories, not only of this life, but also doing archaeomythological and anthropological researches on her. In
Mm.
fact, I have written two books so far. One is about all the 15 years of researches about Aphrodite as a goddess of sacred sexuality, goddess of the sea, goddess of death, which is like Kali. We have many aspects of Aphrodite, like Kali, that chops the head,
Yeah.
chops the ego. So she has a very strong, dark aspect. Aphrodite is the golden one, the golden mother, the maiden, the Amazon, the fiery lady that can hold her boundaries, the queen of a realm.
Mhm.
So really, I put together the wheel of Aphrodite as an instrument, which now is used also. I teach it
It's a
also in
teaching.
universities. Yes, and the Wheel of Aphrodite is quoted also by Oxford University, La Sapienza University, many universities of
Wow.
the world. And I am really proud of it and really happy, not because we need to be legitimated by patriarchal
Yeah.
environments. We don't need that. It's
Yeah.
not because of that. Actually, universities are born from the stealing of women
Yes.
knowledge.
Hmm.
Priestess and witches and medicine women were stolen, deprived of their ancient medical and magical and spiritual, anthropological, social knowledge. And all this knowledge, you imagine like it was deprived, sucked, it was sucked out the soul of all these teachings,
Yeah.
and they became the science,
Hmm.
science, which is now the new god
Exactly.
for many people.
Yes.
So they reason in terms, they think in terms of use of the active principles of the plants,
Hmm.
while we reason, we feel, we
Yeah.
make art. It's not just science and medicine, it's an art,
Hmm.
not using, but relating. to the plants and their spirit, which is
Mm.
very different.
Very different. Hmm.
And so I think the reason why it's so important to create these connections with universities, I've been so lucky to meet professors that wanted to collaborate with me, that were goddess men and goddess
Yeah.
women. They had so much respect for what I do, and I never felt in danger. I always felt respected, and they called me in the universities to give lessons, to give lectures.
Yeah. It's so
And
powerful.
it's powerful. What does it mean? It means that we women, especially women, it's very important, but priestesses and
Yeah.
shamans, we are taking back our spaces and rights to speak into the places where culture is crafted and decisions are made.
Yes. Absolutely. And these spaces that so deeply need to be opened and restructured. And it's like these opportunities the divine gives to open up these spaces so they can be rekindled, they can be reborn, they can touch other lives. It's very, very special.
And I am so proud of many of my students who decided at university. I have some elder students, like 80 or more years old women,
Mm,
and some men. I hope more men will come, because we need
I know.
more illuminated and enlightened men, but also very young, brilliant women, matriarchal
Mm,
feminist women who are 25 years old, and they are so brilliant and so wise. They have such ancient souls. They decided to took the degree at the university with a thesis on my work,
mm,
and I've been always there with them, always supporting, even in the summer, even if
wow.
I was not in Rome in that moment, and I took the train in the heat and went to support them no matter what. And I saw them being clapped, with people standing up and being having maximum scores. Some of them obtained the PhD.
Yeah,
Is it a record?
it
The
is.
PhD. Do you mean what it means? Do you know what it means? It means they are being able to teach with a new perspective, with the
Mm,
new eyes, new lenses in those places. They will be able to uh, teach with different qualities,
mm.
creating a different atmosphere. And I know they said yes to that. They said yes to that. And I'm so proud of that. They're
I'm
like
so
the
proud
little,
too. I'm proud of you and I'm proud of them. It just
thank you.
leans into legacy in such a profound way, the legacy of how love is reshaping the world and creating new opportunities. And every single one of those beings is part of that grander orchestration of this web.
Yeah. And everybody is willing to take the responsibility to do
Mm,
their part, because every one of us is fundamental. The
yeah.
more we are, the better it is. I
Yes.
hear some people saying, the world works like that. You cannot do anything. I don't think
I
so.
don't think so either.
Just look at the Disney movies now, Disney
Right.
movies for children.
Yeah.
From the princess that needs to be saved
Yeah.
to the young
The
queens,
warriors, queen.
warriors,
Yeah.
independent women, which
Yeah.
doesn't mean they reject men, not at all. It
Yeah.
means the work we've been doing, we priestesses of the goddess, we feminists, we matriarchal women, it's giving its fruits.
Yeah.
So I often say being a priestess, especially a priestess of Aphrodite, doesn't mean either not having a partner or having many partners. You can
Yeah.
be also with one partner all life long. I have my husband, which is amazing, a goddess man, an Aphrodite man. I don't say erotic. Yeah, I could say erotic, but I prefer to say Aphrodite, because I want to restore the realm of love and give it back
Mm,
to the goddess of love.
yeah.
So, yeah, all these experiences I had, which I am sure many people who listen to the podcast can relate to, because we have had similar journeys back home. back to our memories, the
Mm-hmm.
memories we carry in our womb, in the cells, in the molecules of water, in our blood, in our menstrual fluids, in our sexual
Yes.
fluids. It's Aphrodite. It's the sea from which everything is born. The
Yeah.
sea on earth and the cosmic sea. We are all born from that, and we carry those memories. So we are remembering that. And I
Mm.
often say there are some of my students that approach and feel the calling to become a priestess of Aphrodite in sacred sexuality, which is a training I offer, which is opening right now.
Amazing.
In fact, yeah, and I teach internationally in Italian and English language. Sometimes they are afraid and say, okay, if I am a priestess of Aphrodite, what does it mean? That I cannot have a partner or that I have to practice sacred prostitution? Neither of the two.
Oh, yeah.
So uh, the sacred prostitution is illegal, but if you want to do sex work, you can do it in the places where it's allowed. If you want to be single, to not match with any partner, you can do it. If you want to be with one partner for all your life,
You
because
can do
you
that.
find the other your twin flame, the sacred couple, a
Mhm.
tantric couple, an Aphroditic couple, you can do it as well. That's my path. I choose this.
Yeah.
I had many lovers. I was saying before, I had, since I was very young, this strong sexuality. And even if I was raised a Catholic,
Hmm.
I felt I had my first time really early, but I felt it was so beautiful, so pure. And I felt
Hmm.
sexuality is the force that inhabits all of us. All of us exist thanks to
Does
sexuality.
exist. Yeah,
So it must
absolutely.
be sacred. Then, of course, it has been abused,
Yes.
transformed into a sin, transformed into pornography, transformed into something to sell or
Yes.
something technical, something medical. Yeah,
Hmm.
this is the majority of people, the few people that receive somehow a sexual education, they just receive it in a medical way.
I
But
know.
where are the feelings? Where is the sacredness, the rituality of that?
Yes. The
And that changed
nourishment,
my,
the opening, everything that you need to learn from actually allowing yourself and having that deeper calling to drop in and go in. But it makes me think too, we're so blessed to know this, to remember this. And for so many women that don't yet remember, and how hard it is and challenging it is, right, to be so confined to a particular way or a particular belief system, and to be able to find the safety in themselves to release and relinquish some of that and open up into these depths of water. Yeah, it's a living prayer, really.
absolutely. But I think, women are starting
Oh, they are.
feeling that. And there are so many women that out of the blue, they've never heard about sacred sexuality or sacredness, spirituality, Aphrodite. And out of the blue, they, for pure synchronicity, they bump into me
I love it.
and they said, oh, I feel this is true. They
Mm.
feel strange because spirituality is something they're not familiar with, but they feel, because as I said, we all carry it within. And
Mhm.
even men who are so superficial, they feel attracted by a priestess of
Oh.
Aphrodite and sacred sexuality because it's an ancient calling.
Hmm.
Maybe from a wound, they want to conquer, they want to be the alpha man, but there is something
There is.
in depth that asks for healing, just as the sailors and the warriors came back to the temples of Aphrodite and
Yes.
sacred sexuality, and the war was washed away from their bodies,
Mm.
physical body and subtle bodies, thanks to the making love to them. Making love,
Yeah.
this is what it means. Aphrodite's mantra is make love, not war.
Mhm.
This is what I really learned. I had a tendency to cleanse my lovers. naturally, I hadn't studied them. And I didn't know how to handle this energy, this rubbish I took from
Yeah.
them instinctively. I also got very sick because of that. And then I said, okay, this is the case. I
I
study
have to
now.
learn.
I have a proper training.
Yeah.
And I had many proper trainings in Tantra and
Yeah.
sexuality and Aphroditic. And then I created Aphroditic philosophy and spirituality, which I teach. But this changed my life totally because I had the instruments to um, do this work of alchemization, because
Mhm.
Aphrodite is also called the alchemic one. She's an alchemic
Oh,
goddess.
sure she
She's
is.
also called the Chrysaea, the golden one. She's the one that teaches you the path of the jewel, the path of the diamond, the path of the pearl,
Mm.
according to how you want to use the alchemic powers she has.
Yeah.
There are three different ways she teaches, and you can choose with which you want to work. But the result is transforming yourself into something better. And this is something every human being needs.
Yeah.
And we've always wanted that.
Hmm. We've
Even
always
if out
needed it.
there they try to keep us asleep.
Hmm.
You need the new bag, you need the
Yeah.
new car, you need this, you need more pizza, you need more food. Have you
Yeah.
seen how many food programs there are?
Yes.
So insatisfaction, sexual insatisfaction to keep
Yeah.
drugged, to keep
Yes.
under addiction so they don't complain. Moreover, the mouth and the throat chakra are connected to sexuality. So the nourishment that is not permitted on a sexual level, even if they make us believe that it's permitted. Yeah, free sexuality, but that sexuality
No.
there is not sacred. It's
No, it's
not
not.
nourishing.
No.
Also, because there are different kinds of sexuality, different styles of sexuality and language of love in sexuality, different kinds of orgasms, different levels of orgasms, which is all I teach in the training. But people out there, they just know ejaculation.
Yeah.
Sorry, can I be vulgar?
Oh, please be vulgar. Yes.
Fuck, to
Yeah.
fuck, yeah, to fuck. 5 minutes and it's done.
And
Where
it's
is the Arsamandi? Aphrodite teaches
yeah.
us the Arsamandi, which in Latin means the art of making love.
Mm, yeah.
And this is what makes the difference in a person's life, in an individual, couple, and collective. It made a difference for me. As soon as I started walking the path of Aphrodite, I found my wonderful husband. He's a Gilanic man. Gilanic means a man raised in a gender equality. So we are co-humans, co-parents, co-workers. We do everything 50%, and we are
Diego's a
support.
beautiful man. Yeah,
You've
he is.
known him.
Yeah, he's
And
gorgeous.
he's
Beautiful.
so beautiful and trustful, faithful, loyal, and sexy, and
Yeah.
so good in sex. Oh my goodness. It's been 10 years together, and I still want to make it. We
Oh,
still want to make love every day.
that's
Every
so
day with two kids.
beautiful.
Yeah, we have two kids, a temple to run, and so many missions that Goddess keeps sending us. And this is the core, actually, of everything we do, our love life and sex life. And this is true for every human being. I've seen those changes that I've seen in me, also in my students, that as soon as they tap into their sexual and love energy, everything changes. They start finding the right partner or improving the relationship with their actual partner. They start having a better job, being better paid, because also the money thing is connected to sexuality and love. How much money we earn has to do with how much worthy we
Yes.
believe ourselves, worthy of love and pleasure. And
Mm-hmm.
this is so true.
It's so
I've
true.
been I've
Yeah.
been in the
I
old place. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve to be paid.
yeah.
Now it has totally changed. Totally changed.
You bring up
And I
something so beautiful. Sorry to interrupt you, but I just want to like
Mhm.
lean in and touch it. The beauty of we've seen in families what happens when children come and parents, women start to be distracted naturally and they stop being a wife and become, or
Yes.
they stop being the lover that they once were, right? This
This is
effulgent
so true in
wellspring.
Italy, the
Oh my
Virgin
God, it's
Mary.
it's so, oh my God, absolutely. And how this creates so much resentment and starts to separate the couple, and they become so immersed only in parenting that they lose the primary divine relationship at the core. So being in your sex and being and knowing that that's a primary relationship and extending that out to the children, so beautiful. I'm so happy for you that you're experiencing that richness. Really.
Th- Thank you.
Hey.
I've gone through a
Yeah.
very long series of jerks.
Mhm.
Really, really. I used to have a terrible love life. I also had wonderful partners and yeah, in my past. But when I met my husband, I said, it's him. And he said, it's her. And his mother was a witch, and when she knew me, now she's not alive anymore. She died, yes, soon after. Like she said, I've been preparing all my life you for her. Now I can die happy, she said.
Wow. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm.
And the thing of sacred sexuality between us, I think, actually keeping, nourishing the sexual energy in a couple, uh, it's fundamental for the well-being of the whole family and
Yes.
also the children. The bed, I say to my
Yeah.
students, the bed is the epicenter of the well-being of the family.
Mm. I love that. I love
And
it.
our children love to see us when we kiss passionately. I see Samuele looking at Samuele and
Oh.
Emrys looking at us like, oh, they are so cute when we kiss each other. Because also we really think that it's very important to expose our children to healthy models of love.
Agreed. Agreed. They're going to completely bring it into their experience, and it's just going to be a natural part of who they are and how they express.
Mhm.
What a different world that's going to be generationally. Yeah. Yes.
Also, on a social level, this thing of the message of Aphrodite, make love, not war. If a person and couples and individuals, many individuals in the collective, are happy individuals and couples, sexually and emotionally speaking, there would be no wars.
Hmm.
And the war industry and the pharmacy industry would collapse.
Yeah. Mm.
So that's why they don't want us to have sex.
Yeah, they don't. They don't.
Yeah,
It's the biggest medicine
absolutely, the biggest
when it's,
power. So
yeah,
they prohibited first with the Catholic Church.
yeah,
Now, yeah, liberation of sex, but it's just the other side of
it is.
the
It's gross.
medal.
Yeah.
Pornography is not healthy sex. It
No.
drains energy away and creates addiction.
And if I may add, neither is the distortion of the so-called like feminist movement of sex, like how it went all the way to the other polarity where we start
Absolutely.
prostituting ourselves and leaking our Shakti in such a way that is a detriment to ourselves in the name of becoming free, but actually bonding us in bondage to something else. So I'm really excited about the swing back in the middle and this cultivation and this reawakening and reemergence of the sacredness, just really remembering at the center that we are the ones that are sacred and then starting to flourish that network. It's like I'm seeing like the coral reef as we're in
Yeah.
Aphrodite energy, right? Like
Yes.
all of this all this richness that is at the bottom of the ocean and this like voluptuous grace that is available to us should we choose it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm.
just re-educating ourselves, remembering and re-educating our nervous system that,
Mm.
yeah, it's safe to open up to love. It's safe to open up to real pleasure,
Yeah.
not the fake pleasure that they ask us to satisfy. It's just dopamine there,
Yeah.
buying new things, new things, new things, things. It's just dopamine. Gives pleasure in the moment, but it's not
It's not
something that
lasting.
nourishes our soul deeply and our
Mhm.
temple as bodies as temple deeply. It's not something that makes our eyes
Yeah.
burn, and we feel alive. There are many people ask me, how have you done so many things and you're so young?
Yeah. Can I ask how
Thanks to
old are
that,
you?
I am about to be 40 in February.
Beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm
Mm.
not that young anymore, but when I was younger, I've already had done so many things to children, a temple, books,
Yeah.
university collaborations, goddess conference,
Yeah.
the Kipi of Aphrodite, which is this big annual retreat international with people from all over the world that takes place in June, every June. Which is included in the training to become priestess of Aphrodite in sacred sexuality, which require a lot of energy. All of these
Yeah.
to handle it requires a lot of energy, but it's an energy that I don't give from myself. It's something that just
Yeah.
comes and flows because
Mm.
I try to be always connected. Of course, I'm not
Yeah.
always connected. There are some times in which I feel more yet more tired, of course. And then I know
Yeah.
the fantastic thing about we human beings is that we can adjust every day, and
Yeah.
train us to be more and more connected, more and more on the path.
Mm. Absolutely.
Then
Tell me
yeah,
about,
yeah.
I was going to say, tell me about the training. Tell our audience about the training. Like, so what does that look like?
The training is a 3 years training, but yeah, it's something very serious. So it's not just a certificate that you gain in one weekend, which I'm against.
Yeah.
So it's like a university thing, but it's very intellectual, philosophical, and also very spiritual and practical and sexual. So the core of this is joining the intellectual, philosophical part and cultural part with the researches and the archaeomythological proofs of what I say, with the very practical work on the body, on sacred sexuality, on spirituality, going out in the land. It doesn't have to be all 3 years. There are people that say, I just want to do 1 year. And it's so powerful because the first year we work on Aphrodite's wheel
Yeah.
and all her archetypes and epithets. And remembering all the parts of Aphrodite, all her names, we really remember all the parts of our fragmented psyche and we become
Mhm.
whole. This is for men, women, people of every gender. And we start working on sacred sexuality from the very beginning, working with the land, working with the relationship with the body, the land, the goddess, the
Mhm.
other people, which is so important, the other people we meet at the temple. The second year is really mastering the tools of a priestess or priest of Aphrodite. And we work with ceremonies, how to create ceremonies, seasonal ceremonies, lunar ceremonies,
Mhm.
menarche, hand fastings, all the ceremonies that also privately people can ask us to create for them. All the rites of passage, which is so important to celebrate
So
again,
important.
because it has a psychological function and a social function.
Yes.
And also divination, oracling, divination with the shells, divination with the
Mhm.
landscape, with the stones, with the leaves,
Beautiful.
with the sea, with the waves of the sea, flight of the birds, and also the embodiment, which is the favorite thing, which is like a possession and a trance, but this is not the correct term. The correct term is really embodiment. So the priestess make space in her body to let Aphrodite drop in, and she really is Aphrodite. So
Mm.
the person in front of her can experience the presence of the goddess. And it's so beautiful. This is the most beautiful experience for every people that come to visit the temple. Every people are in awe and so grateful. Very deep healing can happen out of that. And also I teach students also to use the embodiment also while doing sex with
Mm-hmm.
their partners. So
Sure.
this is on the third year we work on Aphrodite and sacred sexuality very in depth and on devotional practices. So it's the year of the years, the third one. Uh, and it's a very advanced tantric practice to see each other as goddess and god. So we can start. This is a gift I give to all the listeners of the podcast. We can start in a simple way. I cannot transmit the practice, which is very complex and advanced here now, but we can start in a simple way, starting to invite. This is the meaning of education from Latin educere, to invite to come outside into manifestation the best parts of our partner,
Mm.
seeing him as a king, a priest, a god. And
Mm-hmm.
he can do the same with us, seeing us as Aphrodite, as a
Yes.
priestess of Aphrodite and sacred sexuality, as a queen. That's an exercise you can do right now.
Mm-hmm.
And vice versa. We can see ourselves as priestesses of Aphrodite and sacred sexuality, as queens, as Aphrodite herself.
Yeah.
And our partner can see himself exercising in the mirror as a king, as a priest of
Mm-hmm.
Aphrodite, as a god. When you see yourself as a goddess, you don't let anyone treat you badly, less than a queen. Nobody can treat you less than a queen, less than a priestess of
Yeah.
Aphrodite would be treated. And also a man, the same for the man. And
Mm.
vice versa. If you see your partner as a goddess, as a god, you will automatically respect and treat in the
Yes.
best way. Of course, you have to be in two to do this exercise.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like just admitting every abuse from the other person. No,
Mm-hmm.
we have to give the best of ourselves to the other person and invite the other person to give the best of ourselves, of herself or
Mm-hmm.
himself in the relationship. This is what a tantric Aphrodisiac couple is. So
It's
you can do it right now. And the
yeah.
training is about to happen really soon. Now it's the enrollments are open, and there are already various people joining in from all over the world because the training is also in English language. And another gift I can offer is if you want to reach me on Maya Vasallo De Florio Sacred Sex on Instagram, in the link in my bio, there is a free gift, which is the Aphrodite daily routine. So if you want to start really practicing into your daily life the art, Arsamandi, the art of sacred sexuality, with a routine that you can compose yourself and change according to the seasons and to your menstrual
Mm-hmm.
cycle. So fitting the practices into the fluctuations of into the changes of your sexual energy, you can download this free
Mm-hmm.
guide.
Beautiful. I'll
And
put all
also,
the information so that
yes,
everyone can reach you.
and also, of course, I offer private sessions, if orientation sessions for those who want to really be sure that this is the path for them. Because I
Mhm.
understand this is not a path for everyone.
Yeah.
Mm. Maybe the first year can be for everyone because it's healing for everyone.
Yeah.
But then you will understand if the path of priestess or a priest is for you
Hmm.
on the way, on the way. And I think Aphrodite calls whom she calls from
She
all over the
does.
world, really. She's cosmopolitan and she
Yeah.
transcends time and space. She has come till today to us in a way that we can remember her in all her glory, because she was
Hmm.
not the dolly goddess. She is the
No,
goddess.
yeah.
She's really medicine, really medicine. She has been for me. She has been for many of my students. And yeah, I wish I'm really in love with her. I'm really
Yeah.
passionate about her. And I know you can
Love it.
relate to that. We've talked many times
Yeah.
about her. Yeah, I think every people deserves to yeah, to let her medicine sink into their
Hmm.
bodies. Yeah.
Yeah. She is the medicine for our times. It's so beautiful.
Yes.
It really is. It's such a rich, complex relationship. When I was traveling and I was in Italy and I went to go see the Black Madonna of Tindari and on the Ionic
Wow.
Sea. And in this particular body of water, and like in this particular journey, when I went to Erice and like all these like ancient sacred goddess temples in Italy. By the way, listeners, there are so many sacred spaces that are not um, actually known in the, that even if you look them up, but there's so many sacred ancient places throughout Italy and the waters.
Wow. Yes.
And so in the Ionic Sea, it was the first time I've had many, many experiences, but particularly when you spoke in relationship to your experience, I had something similar in this particular water. It was like my whole lower chakras opened up, and the energy of the mermaid and this sensuality, it was like all the water became rainbow. Like the stones underneath the water, like everything
Wow.
became so fluid and open. And this alchemical beauty that the earth and the waters there were carrying it was so resplendent. Like it was the kind of thing that it just pierces you and touches you. It makes me want to cry. And just creates this spaciousness that you almost feel like you've never felt before, but you've been there 1,000 times. And it just there's such a revolutionary connection and consciousness in these particular spaces where we have memory inside of our body that opens. And so I just wanted to also bring into this space when we talk about relationship to the land and the priestess and our human forms. When we are driven to move to particular spaces or, take that trip and go to that place to just really allow ourselves to go because there's so many dynamic points in our bodies and points of reference that we can't understand with our minds.
Also because yeah, water has memory and places have memory.
Yes. And we are made of
So they
water.
call us, they
And then,
call us, as you
yeah,
said, come here. I
here.
have something to
Yes.
unveil for you. There's
Yeah.
something interesting for you here. You need
And
to
the
hear that.
the water in our blood and the power in our blood and that water, it's like they coagulate and create
Yes,
this opportunity. It's like a doorway that opens, right?
absolutely.
So I love that, which makes me then want to spin back to the preciousness of earth and this embodiment for us. And yeah, it just a living, breathing body of light. We're so blessed. And how now you've just made a move to Bali.
Yes,
And
I am
that
in Bali now. So we
tell
are
me
at the opposite. You are, it's what time is it there?
in New York right now, it is 10 a.m.
It's 10
Yeah.
p.m. here. It's just to the other side of the world. Yes. I felt the calling like as strong as the calling to open the first temple in Italy, because the
Mm,
temple in Rome, which is an actual temple, which I invite you all to visit.
it's a
Jackie has
beautiful
been
temple.
here. It's very beautiful,
Yeah,
full of Aphroditic art, and it's like going down, immersing in the sea. It has become even more beautiful
I can
so
imagine.
far. Yeah, because many people donated works of art in the meanwhile, and it
Mhm.
has been charged with the energies of so many people from all over the world and many rituals. But yeah, 2 years ago, I received a vision after COVID. COVID was whew, such a ride, such a ride. My goodness, I held it. I held the sheep and the how you call it the
Oh,
the thing of the sheep.
the steering, navigating the ship. Wait.
Yes,
I
I don't
can't
remember
either.
how to call it, but I held the direction of the ship for lot of time. There were terrified people from all over the world asking me what to do as
Mhm.
the priestess, founder of the Temple of Rome. And we all priestesses, founders of the temples all over the world, we heard each
Mhm.
other and we said, how to help those people?
Yeah.
First of all, being calm, being
Yes.
centered, that the tempest, the storm will pass. We just have to go through it, to navigate through it and be
Yeah,
patient. It will pass.
it
It will
will.
pass. And so we had to cling to our inner resources. But I gave so much, so much to support people, even with free lives, with free
Yeah.
practices they could do, listening and giving free individual sessions because there were people in despair and without money.
Yeah.
And I gave so much help, like when there is a flood and everyone has to help, and sometimes you forget to take care of yourself.
Hmm.
But I was not aware then. I was not aware because I had so much energy and I felt, oh, I could afford other pandemics.
Right.
I feel so good. The problem was my being a priestess required a community in person.
Mm.
And I went every day at the temple because the temple is in front of my house in Rome,
Yeah.
literally. So just have to cross the street and I'm in the temple. And I felt I went there every day to work
Hmm.
because I had to work from there because the children were at home with my
Yeah.
husband. I said, the temple was crying, where are the people? Where
Oh,
are the people? Where is the community? And I went into the darkest night of the soul of my life. Not even the tragedy of my niece, not even the the accident my husband had with the motorcycle when I just had given birth to our first child. Not even those tragedies were comparable to what I went through. And into the darkest night of the soul of my entire life, one night, it was nearby my birthday, I felt I received this vision as strong as the vision I received to open the temple 10 years ago. As strong, such as strong. And I
mm.
said, I was crying and then I was stopped immediately. I had this vision and my husband was supporting and holding the space for me. I was crying all the tears of the world, not just mine.
Yeah,
And
I
he said,
know.
what's happening? We have to go to Bali. And just as he said yes to the vision of the temple, he said, okay, let's talk about that. He said immediately, yes, okay, okay, I trust your vision. He
Mm.
always trusts my vision. Then it took 2 years to realize that. And this is a project which will be so precious because I know I have to bring Aphrodite here and I will bring what I learned here back to the temple and to my students and to the temple community. And the message is sow, right?
Yeah.
Sow the
So,
worlds,
mm.
sow the worlds, the inside and the outside, the above and the below, the west and the east, female and male. Join, sow the worlds together again. Mend, also it's another word, mend
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
mend together the worlds. I
Mm.
received this, and I know this is my task. I received some directions about how to make it happen. It has to unfold because I
Yeah.
don't know really in detail how. And I
Yeah.
trust, as I trusted the vision of the temple, the
Hmm.
vision of the priestess training, the vision of the retreats and pilgrimages in all the beautiful sacred
Always.
places we have in Rome and
Yes.
around Rome. Which yeah, also these places, I'm sure that just as it happened with the places around Rome where I bring all my students in the retreats, uh, it will be the same here. The
Yeah.
places will tell, the waters will
The
tell.
cook. Yes. Yes.
And plus, there are many priestesses here. I want to hear the
Mhm.
women because they have such a little space here in Bali. I want to hear their voices.
Mm, beautiful. I'm excited for this next part of the journey.
Me too. Me
Uh,
too. And I'm
sending,
curious.
yeah, very curious. And, one piece too that just feels really beautiful is, we've spoken earlier around how all of these places are ancient for us and places we've already lived. Like these places we circle back to. It's like a shamanic soul retrieval, right? And we embody the gifts and the presence of these other ancient times. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, so beautiful for this next evolution and reemergence of whoever you are in underneath and what's
I think it
being.
will be quite a journey, not only in Bali, I am
Yeah.
Pisces, so I think I've been swimming in many,
Mhm.
many seas, and I feel
Yeah.
called by so many lands. I know there is so
Yeah.
much that I had to put together like a puzzle and say, okay,
Yeah.
it's all one. We are all
Yes.
here. Remember that.
Mhm. It's so beautiful. Really, really beautiful. Thank you for sharing with us
Thank
today.
you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for inviting me and for connecting again.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm so grateful. Thank you for what you're bringing and yeah, all the love to the kids and Diego. And for everybody who's listening to this, just really marvel in the energy and the possibilities. We don't wake up and plan these types of lives. They are like magical unfoldments. Um, and so just follow what is true for you and listen to the call deep inside. And everybody has an adventure that is waiting deep within their soul for those that are willing to just open up
And
and
don't listen to anyone that wants
yeah,
to put you down
yeah,
and that says that this way of life it's ridiculous, that it's
yeah,
not enough planned,
yes.
that planned life doesn't exist.
It doesn't.
Plans are made to be reorganized
Yes.
continuously. The life without risk does not exist. And
Hmm.
life and every choice as a price. The choice to conform as a price. The price
Yes.
is your soul and your
Yes.
happiness, but you will be safe. You'll feel safe. The choice to follow your life path, your
Hmm.
soul purpose, has a price as well.
Yes.
It's very, very tiring sometimes, full of uncertainties, and it requires you to be always listening, and contacting. But it pays off so, so, so much. It's so
It
tasty.
does.
And at the end of my life, not only at the end of my life, also during my life, I want to wake up every day
And be like,
and say, "What a juicy life I'm living!
yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
what an Aphrodisiac life I'm living."
Exactly.
And I wish you
Exactly.
all, you, Jacqueline, your
Thank
son, and all the
you.
people listening, I wish you all to live an Aphrodisiac, juicy life.
Mhm. And so it is. And so it is. Thank you.
Thank you.
Listeners, I'm placing all of Maya's information below, and until we meet again, thank you.
Merry meet and merry part. Thank you.